Hey guys, it's Core Ross, and today we're going to be customizing a pre-built NZXT PC with 3D printing to hopefully turn this into a kick-ass Rainbow Six Siege themed PC, and it should be a beast. And thank you very much for NZXT sending this PC out to me. Although no money is exchanging hands here and I don't get commission on any sales or anything like that, they have sent 3.5 grand's worth of hardware. So I am of course going to label this as a sponsored video. So let's jump into this. And basically the goal today is to make a better editing PC than I currently have, and that was a Siege themed build I did back then with like painting, but now we're going to try doing it with a completely different medium. We're going to go with 3D printing this time. And a little bit about the actual computer itself. So NZXT has 3 different models you can choose from. There's the Player 1, the Player 2, and the Player 3, with all different price points and performance. And each of those tiers also has a Prime version as well, which is kind of like an upgraded version within that tier. And the one I've received in the mail is the Player 3 Prime. This has got a Core i9 13900KF, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090, along with 64 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of NVMe storage, all-in-one liquid cooling for the CPU, 9 RGB fans with 1 non-RGB fan, and then the case is the NZXT H9 Elite. And this has 2 panes of glass that come together at a 90-degree angle to give you this big open window into the PC itself, which hopefully is going to make it cool for customization here. Now, because it's a pre-built, we should talk about actual packaging, as I've never received a pre-built computer before. I've always built my own. So it was very well packaged, and that was actually emphasized by the fact that the box that came in had a big hole in the sides, but that was the outer box, which then had padding inside about 1 inch worth, and then the inside of that was the actual box with the PC in it, which of course had its own foam and packaging inside, which saved it from any damage at all. It came completely unscathed. And then inside that was the expanding foam bags that you take out that holds like the GPU and stuff in place. So very well packaged, and the first time I've ever received a PC in the mail. And of course, with the GPUs these days being absolutely huge, and here's an actual comparison between my 3080 and my 4090 now. The size comparison is just unflippin' believable. Amazingly, the weight is actually maybe kind of similar. The 3080 maybe is denser, I think, and more fins on the 4090, but goddamn, it's massive. So very impressed with the packaging. So I picked out a Habana charge that I previously purchased from darny3d.com. This is a guy who makes incredibly good 3D kind of cosplay stuff, and you can get all kinds of stuff. And I got one of these Habana charges a long time ago, and I thought this on the outside of the case to give the smooth glass a little bit more life to it. And then we've also got 2 3D printed figurines. These are actually done by a company that no longer makes them, so they're pretty damn unique now. And I've got Fuse and Smoke here, and I think they kind of fit the deep freeze winter kind of theme. I feel like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I could have easily put like a snowball in this Smoke's hand and it would just look like he was out doing a snowball fight. And Fuse, of course, looks as if he's ready and built for winter. Now, my first thought was that I want these guys standing on the GPU, because I've seen plenty of people put figurines and stuff on the GPU, and I thought, I kind of want to try and do that. But their stands are big blocks of wood, so not exactly something that's going to look really good. And I thought this is where my 3D printing skills will come in, and my very amateurish 3D modeling skills. But this is a very good excuse to work on them. So I used a free online program called Tinkercad, which is very basic, but it's nice and simple to work with. And what I wanted to create was kind of a snowy area that they're going to stand in. And then I want that snowy area kind of melting off the GPU coming down the side with hopefully the R6 logo worked into it. And then on top of that, I wanted to try and play around with some ice looking 3D prints. So some transparent filament. And I was thinking just simply making out of cubes to hopefully make it look like ice. So I spent a lot of time working away at that. I did manage to find one very nice texture online for snow that I brought in to give my kind of platform a little bit more texture to it. So that actually ended up looking quite decent. Now, overall, it looks a bit square, but I think it does kind of give you the snowy-like effect that I was going for. And because of 3D printing, I can be very, very accurate. So the holes for the operators is perfect. I've even got a square in there, which is the revealed part on top of the GPU that's not covered by the backplate, which I presume because it needs airflow. So that was able to be built into the design. Now, also, if you're having anxiety about me having this on top of a 4090 while gaming, it's not going to be there. So this is purely visual, and for this video, I am definitely not trusting it with actual, like, sitting on top of a 4090. No reason to be risking that. But this is our side piece as well. So this all connects up with just some inserts so that it sticks onto the side of that. So hopefully it looks legit, like it's melting snow coming off the side. And then we've got the crystal-like designs as well, which came out okay. I wish I had an even bigger 3D printer. This is a K1 I printed them on, and they came out gorgeous. But you could imagine if I could have a massive thing to be able to print, I could have done like an entire side panel, which could have been sweet to make it even more icy. Maybe even black ice I could have gone for with that design. Now, while that was all 3D printing, I went and took a look at the back side of the PC, or the other side panel, and this is actually completely perforated with holes, and the entire thing is a dust filter as well, so it can be used for intake, so it's pretty cool. And then inside that, you can see how good the wiring was all done. It is extremely clean, and tons of space to install SSDs and even hard drives. And then in preparation for the final build, I went and put the LEDs to be white. I should have put a Core Ross logo on the cooler, but I just went with a white look and kept the RAM in its full color configuration. But yeah, here we go. So I'm going to install all the different little bits that I've created to fit onto this. I was thinking that I would originally going to do a snowball for the actual cooler, which would then light up inside and look kind of cool, but I couldn't quite pull it off with a 3D print. And then, yeah, we've got our little fuse on there on his GPU position. And this looks cool. I actually think it came out not too bad. It's definitely not the best 3D work in the world, but it looks cool. I gotta say, I'm happy with it. Definitely a big upgrade from the painting I did on the original editing rig, which actually has been my case. Just upgraded the internals for a long time now. So very cool to actually put something on here that's a significant upgrade from just doing the painting itself. And it shows that I've actually gained some skills too, which is nice. And I've still got a long way to go. But here is the final build. This is all siegified, going with winter deep freeze style, and also taking that inspiration from people putting all kinds of stuff on their GPUs when it comes to figurines and stuff like that. And I think it actually works out not too bad. There's definitely things I would change and work on, but I think it's actually legitimately pretty damn cool. And this is the first case I've ever had with a glass side panel. So very cool to be able to just peek inside and look at all this. It looks sweet. And also at this point, I've actually not put the side panel back on, which still has this protective film on it. So I was kind of curious how this is going to look, because of course the protective film is covered in smudges and stuff. So is it going to look good when we do the final peel? And here we go. So yeah, I'm pretty damn happy with this. I could definitely do better, but I'm seriously happy with the overall style and look of it and how it's ended up coming out. I think the professionally made stuff like the figurines and the Habana charge do add some extra quality that I would not be able to throw in myself. And yeah, the figures, especially Smoke, he looks like he's going to get in a snowball fight right now. I love it. So yeah, very, very happy with how this has come out. And I guess now we'll actually show some gameplay on this PC, because at this point I hadn't even used the PC. I'd been doing all this and getting it ready, so I was just waiting. So yeah, I think we'll jump into a couple of games now. I decided to try out some of the stuff that's been difficult for my PC to actually do. So City Skylines 2, which plays like rubbish. And I thought I'm going to crank up the graphics and see what that looks like. Then, of course, put proper ray tracing on. I did have partial ray tracing on with the 3080, but now we're going to put proper ray tracing on in Cyberpunk, do a bit of gameplay with that as well. So you guys can actually see how this PC performs in gaming. There'll be a link in the description below if you want to check out NZXT's pre-built PCs. And they're also shipping in the UK, so if you want to get your own PC in Britain, they are actually assembling them in Britain and shipping them direct. And of course, you can also pick them up in the US as well. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of this custom PC. Did I do an okay job? I would love to get your verdicts in the comments below. And maybe we'll return to this in a future video to make an even better custom PC someday.